Stoicism and economic uncertainty. What Marcus Aurelius would say about Trump's trade policies. What would a Roman emperor say about tariffs, taxes, and Trump's trade policies? In today's world of constant uncertainty, where global markets fluctuate, political decisions shift, and news is never ending, it's easy to feel like we have no control. With ongoing trade talks and tariffs impacting economies, how do we stay grounded? Stoic Secrets has the answer. Drawing wisdom from Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who navigated wars, plagues, and economic crises, we learn that while we can't control external events, we do control how we respond. As Marcus said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In this video, we'll explore how Stoicism can help you stay calm, focused, and rational, no matter the chaos around you. Let's discover how to apply these Stoic secrets to thrive in times of economic uncertainty. Number 1. What's happening? A world in economic flux. We are living in a time of deep economic uncertainty, marked by rapidly shifting trade policies, fluctuating unemployment rates, and markets in constant turmoil. Recently, a phone call between President Trump and Vietnam's leadership about the potential elimination of tariffs added another layer to the already tense global situation. However, this is just one of many factors contributing to the current instability. Since taking office, President Trump has initiated a series of confrontational trade policies, particularly with major countries like China, Canada, Mexico, and the European Union, EU. He imposed tariffs on imported goods from China, totaling hundreds of billions of dollars. China responded by placing similar tariffs on US goods, and implemented other trade measures to mitigate the impact. These policies have escalated tensions between the world's two largest economies, creating uncertainty in global supply chains. Stock markets worldwide reacted strongly to the news of a trade war, with investors expressing concerns about global economic slowdown and the impact on multinational companies, especially large export. This was just the beginning. Trump also pulled the US out of critical international trade agreements like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP, and the Paris Climate Agreement. These decisions have caused a divide within the international community, forcing other nations to seek alternatives to maintain economic stability. A prime example is when the US withdrew from the TPP, and other participating countries continued to sign new trade deals, such as the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP. But the absence of the US required these nations to adjust their strategies and seek new markets. Trump's America First strategy didn't just impact trade policies, it also had far-reaching consequences for global economic issues. When the US imposed tariffs on other nations, not only US companies but also international businesses were affected. Global stock markets experienced major volatility, and concerns grew about the possibility of a global economic crisis. Other countries had to adjust their own economic strategies to safeguard their national economies, dealing with the unexpected risks arising from the US political decisions. Beyond trade, Trump's approach to foreign policy and his disengagement from international organizations has also contributed to a more unstable global situation. His withdrawal from institutions like UNESCO, the United Nations Human Rights Council, and global environmental agreements has led many nations to worry about the absence of US leadership on the global stage. This not only affects political relationships, but also creates uncertainty around international economic and trade decisions. The rapid and often abrupt changes in US policies have amplified instability, not just within the global economy, but also affecting national economies and individual lives. You might feel the effects of these shifts through rising prices, higher living costs, or even changes in your job if companies adjust their production strategies or seek new markets. With all of this in mind, it is no surprise that many people feel anxious and uncertain about the future. These political and economic changes have created an environment of uncertainty, where events are changing rapidly and unpredictably. However, the key question remains: how can we stay calm and respond effectively in these turbulent times? Stoicism is the key to staying calm in an uncertain world, which will be explored in detail in the next issue. Read on to the end to unlock the valuable lessons. Number 2. The Stoic Shield. The dichotomy of control. One of the most powerful and enduring lessons from Stoic philosophy is the principle of the dichotomy of control. This concept, introduced by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, teaches us a crucial distinction. Some things in life are beyond our control: economic policies, political decisions, or the behavior of global markets, while other things, like our reactions, thoughts, and actions, are entirely within our power. This timeless principle has become especially relevant in today's world, where economic uncertainty, political shifts, and fluctuating trade policies often leave us feeling powerless. However, understanding the dichotomy of control can help you regain a sense of agency and inner peace. In recent years, many of us have experienced anxiety when confronted with unexpected changes, such as the impact of President Trump's trade policies or the global economic downturns. These events seem uncontrollable and often lead to feelings of fear and helplessness. But here's the key to navigating such situations. While you can't change these external forces, you always have control over how you respond to them. The Stoics remind us that our reactions are within our grasp. You have the power to choose whether to face difficulties with fear and frustration or with calm and rational thought. Take the financial crisis of 2008 as a prime example. Many people feared for their financial futures, worried about losing their homes, their jobs, or their retirement savings. Yet, in the midst of this crisis, there were those who chose not to give in to panic. Instead, they focused on what they could control: how they managed their money, how they adapted their careers, and how they took proactive steps to build a better future. They looked for new opportunities, refined their skills, and invested in areas that offered long-term growth. Their ability to focus on controlling their reactions and decisions allowed them to weather the storm and emerge stronger. In your own life, the principle of the dichotomy of control can be applied through everyday actions that will lead to significant long-term results. Rather than stressing over rising taxes or unpredictable market shifts, focus on things you can manage. Start by saving more money, cutting unnecessary expenses, or developing new skills that make you more marketable. Build relationships and grow your professional network. These are all aspects of life that are within your power. The key takeaway here is to recognize that, in the face of external pressures and challenges, you have the ability to choose how you respond. Instead of becoming overwhelmed or letting fear dictate your actions, take charge of your mindset. Practice staying calm and deliberate in your responses. When faced with obstacles, ask yourself, what can I control here? Focus on what's within your reach and let go of what's not. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This powerful wisdom can help you navigate the uncertainties of life with a sense of calm and confidence. In a world where the economy and political climate are constantly shifting, The Stoic shield of focusing on what you can control is a vital tool for emotional resilience. By focusing on your inner world, your thoughts, actions, and responses, you can maintain peace of mind and make wise decisions, regardless of the external circumstances. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, to remain steady and grounded, no matter the chaos around you. So, in times of economic fluctuation or political unrest, remember that you have the power to control your response. Stay focused on what matters most, your inner peace and thoughtful action. Are you ready to take control of your life and master your responses? Now is the time to act. Hit that like button and comment below. How can you use the Stoic shield to navigate uncertainty? True strength comes from mastering yourself, not controlling others. Embrace your inner power. Master yourself. Conquer the chaos. Stay stoic. Stay empowered. Number 3. Cato's silence. Don't react to the noise. Cato the Younger, a distinguished Stoic philosopher, was known for his ability to remain silent in the face of provocation. He understood that, at times, silence was the most powerful response, especially when emotions were running high. In today's world, where we are constantly inundated with news, opinions, and information, it is easy to get swept up in the noise and react impulsively. However, as we know from experience, reacting without thinking often leads to unnecessary stress and a lack of clarity. Cato's wisdom offers us a valuable lesson. We don't need to react to every situation, particularly those that trigger strong emotions. In the modern world, we are bombarded with news that demands an immediate response. Whether it's a controversial political opinion, a heated online debate, or alarming economic news, the pressure to react can be overwhelming. But Cato's example teaches us that the most powerful response is often to pause, take a step back, and reflect before acting. By taking this approach, you allow yourself time to think and make decisions with a clear mind, rather than acting on instinct or fear. In times of economic uncertainty, whether it's the announcement of a new trade policy or a financial crisis, our first reaction might be to panic or jump to conclusions. But as Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, once said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This quote reminds us that our fears and worries are often exaggerated by our minds, and reacting hastily based on them only escalates the situation. Instead, we can learn to pause and reflect on the facts, weighing their true impact on our lives, rather than letting our emotions control us. A simple yet effective method for practicing this is by setting aside a few minutes each day for quiet reflection. Begin your day by sitting in silence, focusing on your breath, and allowing yourself to center your thoughts. This practice of pausing and grounding yourself each morning can help you build the mental discipline needed to remain calm and composed when the inevitable stresses of the day arise. This is a direct application of Cato's lesson, that silence and the ability to pause before reacting is a sign of strength, not weakness. In our daily lives, especially when dealing with moments of uncertainty or external chaos, taking a step back and embracing silence can make all the difference. It allows us to avoid rash decisions driven by fear or impulsive emotions. Instead of reacting to the constant barrage of noise and distractions, we can choose to respond thoughtfully, grounded in wisdom and self-control. Just as Cato remained silent during the most turbulent times in Roman politics, we too can cultivate the strength to remain calm and act with purpose in the face of today's challenges. By doing so, we are not only honoring the Stoic philosophy, but also empowering ourselves to navigate life's uncertainties with a steady and clear mind. Number 4. Financial simplicity, what Seneca taught about wealth. In today's society, many still hold the belief that wealth is the ultimate measure of success. We live in a world where money, material possessions, and status symbols are often equated with personal worth. Social media constantly showcases glamorous lifestyles, and advertisements push the idea that the more we own, the happier we will be. But what if I told you that true happiness isn't found in accumulating more things, but rather in the ability to accept and be content with what we already have? This is exactly the profound lesson we can learn from the Stoic philosophies of Seneca, one of the greatest philosophers in history. Seneca, despite being one of the wealthiest men in ancient Rome, chose to live a life of simplicity. His teachings are a powerful reminder that joy does not stem from material wealth, but from mastering our desires. Seneca believed that our wants often lead us down a path of endless striving, but true freedom and contentment come from controlling those desires. In a time when people are constantly chasing more money, better possessions, or greater status, Seneca's message is especially relevant. His ideas resonate even more in today's world, where economic instability, rising inflation, and uncertain political policies often leave us feeling anxious and uncertain about the future. When faced with financial difficulties or the pressures of modern consumerism, Seneca's advice becomes incredibly practical. Rather than chasing after luxuries or items we don't truly need, we can choose to reduce our wants and simplify our lives. This doesn't mean living a life of deprivation, but rather shifting our focus from accumulation to contentment. A simple yet effective solution is to adopt the less is more mentality. This could be as simple as cutting down on spending for non-essential items like dining out, buying the latest gadgets, or following the latest fashion trends. Instead of constantly seeking more, we can take pleasure in what we already have, finding fulfillment in simplicity rather than excess. Marcus Aurelius, another prominent Stoic emperor, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." This powerful reminder tells us that no matter how external circumstances, such as trade policies or economic shifts, change, we still have control over how we respond. How we choose to react to adversity, uncertainty, or challenges is what ultimately shapes our lives. We can't always control the world around us, but we can control our thoughts and action. This Stoic principle encourages us to focus inward and cultivate resilience, regardless of the chaos in the outside world. Incorporating this mindset into our daily lives involves regularly reflecting on the impermanence of everything. Life is ever-changing, and so are our circumstances. By reminding ourselves of this truth, we can better accept what comes our way, even if it's difficult. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What do I need to feel at peace? External wealth or inner tranquility? This self-reflection can help you refocus on core values like love, compassion, personal growth, and meaningful relationships, rather than being fixated on material pursuits or worrying about things beyond our control. The key lesson from Stoicism is this: in times of economic uncertainty or life's inevitable challenges, instead of trying to control everything around us, we should focus on mastering ourselves. By prioritizing the things that genuinely bring us joy and peace, like relationships, personal development, and inner contentment, we can maintain our balance and peace of mind, no matter how much the world around us changes. Adopting a simpler life, rooted in Stoic principles, can help us weather the storms of life with resilience and grace. Congrats on making it halfway through. Your commitment to Stoic wisdom is inspiring, please support the channel by leaving a comment. Something like, "Prepare, don't predict," would be perfect. Keep growing and stay stoic. Number 5. Prepare, don't predict. Marcus Aurelius' wartime mentality. In uncertain times, especially when faced with economic instability or unpredictable political landscapes, we often feel the urge to predict the future and control the unknown. But Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, teaches us an essential Stoic principle: prepare, don't predict. In the face of the challenges he encountered, such as military conflict and the Antonine Plague, Marcus didn't spend his energy predicting what would happen next. Instead, he focused on preparing his mind for whatever might come. His approach reminds us that while we can't foresee what's coming, we can cultivate resilience and mental readiness. This is a timeless lesson for today's world, where economic uncertainty looms large and political decisions, such as trade policies, create ripple effects that affect global markets. So, what does this Stoic wisdom have to do with Trump's trade policies? Let's dive into how this mindset could apply. In modern Stoicism, the emphasis is on accepting what's outside our control and focusing on what is within our power. When we think about the effects of unpredictable trade policies, the future of the economy can seem like a vast, chaotic sea. But rather than getting lost in the tides of what might or might not happen, the Stoic approach is to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally. Just as Marcus faced military turmoil, we face the instability of fluctuating global markets, tariffs, and international relations. However, how we react is what truly matters. The Stoics would advise us to focus on our response to these challenges instead of fearing them. After all, how often do we worry about the unknown, and yet how seldom does our fear actually protect us? What is outside my control, Marcus would ask, should not disturb me. When economic downturns or trade wars arise, many of us look for ways to predict their outcomes. But Marcus's wisdom suggests a better way forward. By preparing ourselves to adapt, to remain calm, and to act with virtue regardless of external events. Take a moment to reflect. How often have you found yourself paralyzed by the unknown? Do you believe that prediction is the path to security, or is it the act of preparing your mind to face the uncertainty with strength that brings peace? Modern Stoicism teaches that we are not defined by the circumstances we face, but by how we choose to engage with them. So, when faced with the uncertainty brought by policies that may disrupt markets or trade, remember this: you can prepare your mind for the challenges ahead. Marcus, even in times of crisis, embraced every challenge as an opportunity for growth. In the face of today's political and economic challenges, are we ready to do the same? Are we preparing to thrive no matter what comes next? We can all take inspiration from Marcus and apply it to our own lives. No matter what happens with trade policies or economic forecasts, your true power lies in your ability to maintain calm, stay prepared, and meet each obstacle with resilience. Instead of fearing the unknown, we can choose to embrace it, to ready ourselves for whatever may come, with the strength of character that Stoic philosophy encourages. What happens to you is not important, Marcus reminds us. What you do with it is. This timeless wisdom can guide us through uncertain times, helping us to grow stronger with each challenge, even when the world seems unpredictable. Number 6. Don't worship leaders, respect wisdom. In times of economic uncertainty and political change, it's natural to seek guidance from the leaders around us. However, the Stoic approach, particularly as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, offers a more profound and lasting source of wisdom. The Stoic philosophy teaches us not to depend on external validation or the whims of political figures, but to rely on our inner strength and personal integrity. This perspective resonates strongly when we think about the policies of any political leader, including Donald Trump's trade policies, and how we might react to them. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius understood that true power lies within us, not in the changing tides of leadership or the volatility of trade negotiations. As Marcus wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This sentiment reminds us that in the face of uncertain times, it is our response, our decision-making, and our internal calm that determine our happiness and success, not the actions of external forces. While it's tempting to worship or idolize leaders, Stoicism emphasizes that respect for wisdom should always be our guiding principle. We must not place our hopes or frustrations on political figures, whether they are seen as successful or controversial. Instead, we should cultivate wisdom in ourselves, focusing on what we can control, like our actions and attitudes. In the face of economic uncertainties, this means not panicking or relying too heavily on any one leader to fix things. The Stoic way asks us to develop resilience, to see challenges as opportunities for growth, and to trust in our own ability to navigate the world with clarity and purpose. In practical terms, this can be applied by resisting the urge to follow the crowd or invest emotional energy in every political shift or policy change. Marcus Aurelius himself frequently reminded himself that leadership is transient and that we must not tie our peace of mind to the actions of others. Instead, he said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." This quote urges us to act according to our values, irrespective of the chaos around us. We have the power to determine our response, and that response can either add to the noise of frustration or create a foundation of peace and focused action. In a world where trade policies can change rapidly and economic landscapes fluctuate, the Stoic secret lies in embracing uncertainty with calm and rational thought. The Stoic practice teaches us to ask ourselves, what is within our control? Is it the market? Is it the policies of a leader? No. It is our own choices, our own behavior, and our ability to adapt to the world as it is. By focusing on these things, we not only weather the storm, but grow stronger in the process. This is where the Stoic secrets really shine. Wisdom, integrity, and inner peace are far more valuable than any external force or fleeting policy. Let us not waste our mental energy on outcomes we cannot influence. As Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Instead of worrying about the next political decision or economic shift, we can choose to focus on what truly matters, how we live our lives today. By adopting this Stoic mindset, we find stability even in the midst of chaos, and we ensure that we are the masters of our fate, regardless of the political or economic uncertainties that surround us. Number 7. Live your economy. Measure success internally. Living your economy is all about shifting your mindset from external markers of success like wealth, status, or possessions to internal measures of growth, peace, and virtue. Modern Stoicism, much like the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, urges us to look inward for true fulfillment. It teaches that success is not defined by the world's metrics, such as financial gain or social position, but by our ability to maintain self-control, integrity, and emotional balance. The Stoic approach to economic uncertainty is a reminder that what truly matters is how we manage our desires and reactions, not how much we accumulate or lose. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This perspective shifts our focus from the volatility of external circumstances, like fluctuating markets or political policies, to the stability of our internal state. By focusing on personal growth and emotional resilience, we find that true wealth is measured not in what we have, but in how well we manage what we are given. Today, we live in a world where material success is often seen as the pinnacle of achievement. Society pressures us to seek validation through financial gains and status symbols. However, Stoicism offers a different view, one that prioritizes emotional stability and moral clarity over external success. By focusing on internal development, living in accordance with our values, and embracing virtues like kindness, wisdom, and courage, we are more likely to feel fulfilled, even when financial resources are scarce. This internal economy doesn't rely on what's happening outside of us. It's a system based on how we handle challenges and how we cultivate a sense of peace amidst uncertainty. When we live according to Stoic principles, we understand that wealth isn't about what we own, but about our mindset, how we perceive life's challenges and how we respond to them. In the face of political policies, such as trade regulations or economic shifts, we can apply Stoic wisdom by remaining steady, not letting external forces dictate our sense of well-being. As Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, advised, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This internal focus allows us to maintain resilience, knowing that we have the power to shape our responses, regardless of the state of the world. The idea of living your economy through internal growth also encourages us to embrace a minimalist mindset. By reducing our dependency on external achievements, we can prioritize what truly matters: our personal integrity, our relationships, and our well-being. As modern Stoicism teaches, when we focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we become immune to the distractions of wealth and status. In this sense, Stoic philosophy isn't just an ancient practice, it's an invaluable tool for navigating the complexities of modern life, especially when faced with uncertainties like economic instability or political upheaval. Through introspection, acceptance of what we cannot control, and an unwavering focus on virtue, we cultivate an inner peace that remains unaffected by the chaos around us. By embracing these Stoic principles, we not only navigate financial instability with resilience, but we also redefine what it means to be successful. As we face modern uncertainties, whether they are related to trade policies, economic downturns, or personal challenges, Stoicism empowers us to find our true worth from within, living with purpose and tranquility, no matter what external events may unfold. If you've made it this far, comment "internal economy" below. It shows you're embracing Stoic teachings and applying them to your life. Reflect on these lessons and share your thoughts. Thanks for joining the journey, and I hope this helps you stay strong and stable, no matter what changes come your way. In times of economic uncertainty, you don't need to be an expert in trade policies to live wisely. By embracing modern Stoicism, as Marcus Aurelius did, you can choose clarity over panic and action over worry. The Stoic secrets teach us that while the world around us may be chaotic, our power lies in how we respond. So, while others debate trade wars and taxes, you can stay grounded, focused, and at peace. If this video has shifted your perspective, hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic Secrets, and turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos. And let me know in the comments, what's one thing you're choosing to stop worrying about? Remember, Stoicism is about how you respond, and your response defines your strength. Stay stoic, stay empowered.